It's already
Hey,
12.
curious minds, welcome to the Robert and Crew Show, where nothing's off limits and everything's up for debate. I'm Robert, here with Crew and the awesome Julie, and let me tell you, Season 6 is our wildest ride yet. You like conspiracies? We've got 'em. From secret societies with handshake deals in shadowy rooms, to wild theories about weather control and UFOs zipping across the skies, I promise there's no rabbit hole too deep for us to dive into. Ever wondered if your neighbor's a lizard person? Or if the lights in the sky are just weather balloons? Or something a little more out of this world? Yeah, we talk about that. But it's not just mysteries and mayhem. We're also obsessed with history's weirdest moments, global news stories that never make the front page, and even the pop culture that shaped us. Batman debates, Assassin's Creed lore, classic horror films that made us sleep with the lights on, all fair game. And the best part? Our show isn't just us talking. We bring in special guests, listener questions, and wild interviews that might just blow your mind. Whether you're tuning in on Facebook, Twitch, or right here on YouTube, you're in for a mix of shock, laughs, and those wait, seriously, moments. So if your brain loves a good mystery, join us every week. Hit subscribe, drop your weirdest questions, and let's unravel the world together, one wild episode at a time. This is the Robert and Crew Show. See you on the other side.
Welcome back to the Robert and Crew Show. As always, I'm your host, Robert.
And I'm your co-host, Crew.
And I'm your co-host, Julie.
And tonight, we're going to be going over some news surrounding the world right now. We all know there's some really big stories going on, and we all know that there's some stories that not a lot of people have heard because of all the noise of what's going on in Iran and Israel. So we do have a couple clips about Iran and Israel, but I tried to put as many clips in there that were not about Iran and Israel because I know that there's a lot of people freaking out or getting upset or stressing out or being fear-mongered into believing that World War III is about to happen and that there's no chance of it not happening, and that's a very scary thought. So I kind of I want some crazy news, but I don't want all of the news to be revolving around the horrible despair in the world around us right now.
Right. So,
And-
we will be talking about some things that's happened in Missouri.
Yeah,
Um,
some things that have happened in Missouri. We're going to be talking about something that just recently happened in Paris. We're going to be talking about some things that, some geological things that are going on. We're going to be talking about possibly some weather stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I've got tonight for us. It's going to be an interesting one. We decided to do a news and chill night tonight. So
this is one of our favorite series that we do sometimes more than once throughout the season. And this season, me, Rob, and Julie came to the idea of doing this particular one once a week.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
we
hey, did
want
y'all
to.
know that it snowed on the first day of summer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
it is
that
crazy.
crazy.
But I remember here in Missouri a couple of years ago, it snowed in May and it also snowed right in the very beginning of June. So I know it's not absolutely insane for it to snow then, but it is crazy that it would snow this far into the season.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially when Missouri, where we're at, is dealing with the freaking heat.
And we got a heat wave, yeah. We have a heat wave
and,
right now.
and
We're going through 98 to 104 degree weather.
And one of the heat waves, which you guys will get to see because we have a video for it, is I think it was in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, where the road cracks. And,
It buckled.
It
It buckled and
buckled.
it sent a car flying.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. But and that just happened right down the road from us. Like in all
wow.
reality, Excelsior Springs is not that far from where we live.
You're right.
Okay.
I'm in Kansas
So-
City. Rob's in Blue Springs. So, that's how far from us?
It's not that far. It's maybe
Right.
like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I see that video a couple of times.
and we've been to Excelsior plenty of times. even together.
Oh, I've been to Excelsior Springs probably like 9, 10, 12 times.
Yeah, and a couple of them was with me.
Probably. I drove
Yeah,
out there a lot.
yeah.
I drove out to Springfield a lot too.
Oh
Also
yeah.
drove out to St. Louis a couple different times. I mean, I've been around Missouri for sure. I didn't go to Branson like everybody else did,
Oh,
but
I have.
I've
I've
been to
been to Branson
Branson.
like 3 different times.
I've only been to Branson once.
Mm.
I've only been to Branson once, and sadly, it was my honeymoon with my ex-wife.
Yeah. I mean,
So I'd
okay.
like to make that. I'd like to change that.
So
I've been to Branson, Missouri once.
since we are in the
Well,
Missouri,
actually, a couple of times.
since we're talking about Missouri, there's a thing on TikTok called Missouri Talk,
Hmm.
and it's an ongoing thing as of late. And I've been watching a lot of people in Missouri, and they're like, we're on here trying to see if we can find people from around us, like locals." And then some of them will be talking about how crazy the heat wave is, and talk about some weird things about Missouri. Did you know, Rob, that one of the poorest places in Missouri in the top 15 is Blue Springs?
Really?
Yeah, Kansas City did not end up on that list. Warrensburg did.
That's really weird that Blue Springs would wind up on that list because they're not poor out here.
Yeah, Blue
They're not
Springs,
poor out here.
Warrensburg,
Trust me, I'd know.
Independence, um, Kirksville,
We
Rolla.
we probably get labeled that way in all reality. We just get labeled that way because we're so close to Independence.
Yeah.
And Independence is a shithole.
Oh yeah, it
Like
is.
I don't care what anybody says. Like I know it's the home of President Harry S. Truman, but it's changed a lot since Harry Truman lived here, and Independence is officially a shithole.
I mean,
Wow.
So
we
there's
can't.
parts of Independence that are nice.
Right.
Sure. There are totally parts of Independence that are definitely nice.
Like, for example,
But where the Harry S. Truman house is, bro,
mhm.
that is not a good place to be at night.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
over there, the only good place over there, that's the nicest part, would be the square.
Yeah, but people still get shot at the square.
Oh yeah, but the better area
Like,
over
come
by
on now.
the only better area over in Independence that's the nicest, besides Independence Center, which is the local mall, is 39th Street.
And the local mall isn't good anymore either.
Right.
There was
That's the
literally
only.
just a huge fight there at the
Yeah.
moving, roaming, inflatable carnival thing that popped up there. There was a huge fight that took place there. And then somebody gets shot at that mall every other day.
Yeah. That's the
Wow.
only part of 39th Street that's really bad. It's the Independence Center. Everywhere else on
Dude,
39th Street.
all of
Um,
39th Street is bad now.
uh,
It's not good anymore.
well, I
Quick
mean,
question.
okay.
Uh, Branson, Missouri.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That little indoor water park over there. Do you know what I'm
Are you
talking
talking
about?
about Wolf Lodge?
I don't know if that was the name back then or not, but it was an indoor one.
It
It
might
was
have been.
kind
The
of
only one
okay.
I can think of that has an indoor water park is Wolf Lodge.
That's the Great Wolf Lodge.
The Great Wolf Lodge, which is there. We also have one not far from us.
Yeah.
It's over in the Kansas City, Kansas side though. Uh, but that's the only one I can think of that probably would be an indoor pool. I mean, we have a lot of indoor pools in Missouri in general. Like Blue Springs has an indoor pool. We used to have two out there, but the school took both of them over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was kind of small. It had like a lazy river and had a water slide
Hmm.
and stuff. But that was about 26 years ago.
It
Kansas
could have
City,
just been a hotel with a water park in it.
yeah,
At
which
that
No,
would be
it
Great
didn't
Wolf
have a
Lodge.
hotel.
Great Wolf
It
Lodge
was just
is a hotel.
right, but they weren't around back then.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
Branson.
But yeah,
It was
Kansas
close
City
to the
has something like that,
hospital.
Julie, but it's not indoor. It's not indoor. It's Oceans of Fun.
No, this one was indoors, and it was about a block away from the Branson Hospital.
Well, when you were talking about like a lazy, the lazy pool,
Yeah,
that,
Lazy
that
River.
lazy river. Well, Oceans of Park has that a lazy river, but we also have a lazy pool where you can just like float around and then waves will start happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one, I don't think it had the waves in it.
Crazy news facts about Branson, Missouri, by the way. In the last 5 years, two of their duck boats have flipped and killed people.
Uh,
Wow.
did you know back in 2023, they said over at Lake of the Ozarks over by there, I had piranhas.
Piranhas?
Yeah, someone dipped
Oh,
piranhas
wow.
in the Lake of the Ozarks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't want to be swimming in there with the piranhas.
Well, fun fact about piranhas, they're not as attracted to people or blood as they're made out to be.
Okay.
They are attracted to blood, but only when they create it. It has to be
Okay.
fresh. Like
Yeah.
it has to be them ripping into, like they have to be hungry enough to eat you. The only way they're going to be that hungry is if you starve them, because piranhas in the wild will just go after other fish.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, we have one of the things that I love going to, which I haven't been to in a very long time, is Zombie Road.
Dude, what?
Zombie Road.
What's that?
You don't remember Zombie Road out here in Missouri?
No,
It's not far from us.
I don't recall.
It's a haunted area.
I'm serious. I don't recall.
All right, I'll have to look it up sometime soon and tell you about it. And then there's another haunted road out not far from Pink Hill Road. Can't remember what it's called, but it's has a lot of accidents over in Blue Springs. Um, it has like a little like place where they park their military vehicles.
Yeah, that's by Lake City. That's the road with all the hills that all the
Yeah,
kids still jump on and die. They all
yeah,
like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and then it also has like its own like personal like UPS building with a big old
Yeah,
fence,
yeah,
and then it has like a little park on the left side.
yeah. It's not. So as far as I know, it's not a sheriff's station anymore. They turned it into a gun range.
Mm.
But sheriff vehicles still get parked down there occasionally.
I went the last time I've been there was when I was dating Kelly.
Bro, they had a tank out there one time,
I know. I remember seeing it.
which was so crazy to see a tank in the middle of Missouri just
Yeah.
chilling.
Well,
I wanted to go
we,
climb it, but I was like too afraid that like obviously it belonged to like Lake City or the military like establishment out there, and I was like, no, if I go anywhere near that thing, I'm gonna get arrested. So I
yeah.
didn't even try. I think I took a picture of it, which sadly I don't think I have that picture anymore. But it was really cool because one day out here they actually had to use that tank to drive into the middle of the road to stop a car chase. It
No,
was
wow.
absolutely hilarious because
I
that tank was
bet.
actually used. Yeah,
Wow.
they blocked off an entire road and made a car chase go off road into the middle of the woods, and the dude hit a tree.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll never
I
forget that.
didn't. We didn't really go to Missouri often, but my husband's family lived in Garnett, Kansas.
Oh, I know where Garnett is.
and stuff. And so we used to travel through there.
Kansas is so boring though. It's just freaking
Yeah.
cornfields.
The only cool thing about Kansas is Lawrence, Topeka, Kansas City, Kansas, and Wichita.
Wichita is cool, but I will never forget the time that I got stuck out in Wichita uh with a whole bunch of people from the skate park, and we were completely screwed because my car died in Wichita, and it was just a terrible place. I hated being out there.
I lived out in Wichita for a good few months back in 2019,
Yeah,
and this was like right before we started talking again, right?
yeah,
And I was still with Sarah,
yeah.
and one of my favorite things was playing Pokemon Go at Wichita State.
I mean, I believe you, man. I just didn't like Wichita. Like when
Right.
I like my experience in Wichita ruined Wichita for me.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah. So, but
now I
I've
will
never
say this.
been to Kansas City, Kansas. I don't think.
I will
But
say
No,
this.
that's your first
but
mistake,
we
Julie. Don't call
but
it
we
Kansas City, Kansas.
oh
Don't you call it
okay.
Call it
Kansas City,
KCK.
Kansas.
You always got okay when it comes to Kansas City, Kansas. You gotta call it KCK.
Yeah,
Okay.
KCK for Kansas, and then you got Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah,
Kansas City is in
Okay.
Missouri. Yeah,
yeah.
you've only
Oh,
got
Now,
a
okay.
quarter of Kansas
Sorry.
City in Kansas.
now I will say
My
this.
bad.
What I
No, you're
noticed
good.
when I was living in Wichita, Rob and Julie, when whenever I would walk all the way to downtown of Wichita, so I could catch the bus, so I can go to catch the bus to go to where I was working at.
Yeah,
Topeka Street out in Kansas, no, not in KCK, out in Wichita, Kansas, on Topeka Street, nothing but homeless, and
yeah.
a lot of them came from what is KCK's county?
Johnson,
Wyandotte. No,
or is it
Wyandotte.
Wyandotte? Yeah.
Yep, Wyandotte. They all came from Wyandotte County, and
Okay.
I was
And
like,
we
why is a bunch of Wyandotte homeless people coming over here when this place isn't even the greatest?
Who knows?
yeah.
Right.
And then seeing the arches was always really neat.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in St. Louis.
Yeah. Seeing the arch, it's the gateway to the west. That's what it's called, the gateway to the west. And it's one of the most beautiful sights to see when you are exiting or entering Missouri.
Yeah. And so that was pretty neat going through there. I took several pictures. I don't know if I still have them or not.
Well, if you
Because I
saw the
lost so
arch, then
many
you've
things.
driven through Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the arch is in St. Louis.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was homeless in St. Louis.
See, I've never really stopped in St. Louis, but I've been through St. Louis whenever I would head to Georgia
Right.
when I was younger, with my grandparents and my mom. And every single time we would drop when we would be leaving Missouri, we would go through St. Louis on the highway, and on the left side you could see the arch, clear as day and clear as night. And that was one of the most coolest things I ever got to see whenever I would be heading out to Georgia.
Seeing the
Yeah.
arch is always cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because when we left Garnett, sorry. When we left there, we left and went all the way to Minnesota.
Mm.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, we lived there for a couple of years.
Why don't they drink normal drinks, like normal beverages in Minnesota?
I don't know that. I haven't
Because
been
they can
there.
only withstand a Minnesota. It's got to be the Minnesota.
So
Oh, well.
the only time I've ever been to Minnesota, which was once, I was like in middle school, right? I
My cat is obnoxiously snoring right now.
I went to a powwow in Minnesota with my mom,
Hmm.
and we were meeting up with my grandfather out there because he was already out there for the powwow. And I looked at my mom and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna go for a walk." I didn't tell her how far I was going. I was planning on making a run for Canada
No, wow.
because we weren't far from the border.
Yeah. Um, we lived uh right downtown from the city. I mean, we were right smack dab in the city of Minnesota. And in the middle of winter, me and my mom went to the Mall of America.
See, I actually liked going out to Minnesota around that time because I got to try my first ever buffalo burger.
I went to I didn't go to Minnesota, but being close to Canada, I mean I've been to Michigan and I've been to where you can see Canada basically.
Yeah, I've been to Canada when I was
I've been to Canada,
17.
yeah. I went to Canada on a cruise ship though.
You
We
see,
went all the way to Quebec, Canada.
Yeah, I got cousins in Quebec. I also have cousins in Toronto.
so Rob, when we do decide to go, on vacation, together,
Yeah.
'cause we've been talking about it. It's instead of like going to Florida, or I know we want to go to Colorado, but there is one place I think we both should go:
Where?
New York.
I've actually been to New York.
So that way we both can go check out Niagara Falls.
I've
Yeah.
always wanted to see Niagara Falls. I've been
Niagara Falls would be
to
cool.
New York, but I've never been to Niagara Falls.
But
That's on my bucket list.
that's one of them I want to see in New York, but I also want to see the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of
Me
Liberty.
too.
It's a cool place, man. I've been. It's a cool, cool place. I got pictures from the cruise ship that I took out of New York, and then I also have pictures from when I went with my synagogue to New York, and we actually went to the Statue of Liberty, and it was pretty cool.
Did you go all the way up to the
No,
hand?
they had it all blocked off. You couldn't go inside the Statue of Liberty.
Because I
But
heard,
I've heard you can go in it now. But
yeah,
back when
mhm.
I was younger and I went with my synagogue, there was no way to get into the Statue of Liberty. So I don't know if that's true or not.
I heard, and it's just a theory, right? That inside the hand, that's holding the torch,
Yeah.
is where the Holy Grail is. They said that's a theory that it's where
I've
it could
heard
be.
there's some hidden chambers in the Statue of Liberty.
Well, the
It
weird
could
thing
be.
about
I
the
don't know.
Statue of Liberty, the weird thing about the Statue of Liberty isn't even the statue. It's what the statue's on. That platform, there's a theory, a harmful conspiracy theory, that platform turns into some kind of uh basically some kind of like war bunker or something, and it's got its own like torpedoes and missiles and all kinds of stuff. That's like a huge conspiracy theory surrounding the statue, but it's what the statue is sitting on. It's not the statue itself.
Okay.
But I've
And
heard,
also thinking of the statue, I've heard that when they put that statue first up, they were
uh-huh,
trying to put a speaker in it so
really?
they could talk and everybody could hear from the speaker in the statue.
That would have been so cool, but so creepy at the same time.
Yeah. I'm
Isn't there
sorry,
an
I didn't mean to
island like
interrupt.
right by the Statue of Liberty?
The Statue of Liberty is on its own, basically its own island, and then next to this next, well, not next to it, but around that same area, you have Ellis Island.
Yeah, Ellis Island. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking of, and that's where a lot of the immigrants from the old times would go
yeah.
to
But I can
get.
tell you from personally going to the Statue of Liberty, I don't think there's anything weird about it. Like I literally went to it personally. I don't see anything in any of those conspiracies at all. Like, it looks like the statue was just put on a giant platform that they made in the water. It doesn't look like anything special.
Right.
Like, if it's anything special, it's symbolically special. It's not
Yeah.
actually a weapon or anything. That's insane. But
Mhm.
there's a theory behind that it was actually a smack in the face by France to the United States that they delivered the statue here.
Yeah,
Oh,
Do
I've
you
heard
know what
that.
the statue stands for?
Freedom.
Supposedly, but who's the light bringer?
Lucifer.
Yeah, what do they call the Statue of Liberty? The light bringer.
Yeah, the light bringer. And
She's
Wow.
Lady Liberty, the light
yeah.
bringer.
Oh,
She's
check this out.
literally she's been attributed to oh my god, I'm forgetting the name of the god. Um but basically it Mithras, the
Mm.
goddess
Okay.
the goddess Mithras. But Mithras is who apparently the Statue of Liberty really truly is, which is super weird and like oddly satanic.
Oh, did you know back in 2021 when we had COVID, right?
Oh, okay, we're going into COVID. Just be careful.
Alright.
Just
Okay.
just be careful
They
with
were
what you say.
using Ellis Island as a cemetery for the ones who did not survive COVID.
I never heard that, but
I
I
Me neither.
when I was looking up, whole documentaries and everything, that was one of the things that popped up, and I'm like, what?
I mean, I don't I wouldn't like put it past like people to freak out like that and be like quarantine the dead, but at the same time, like I don't know, I'd never heard that. Like I feel like that's just fear mongering, and there was a lot of fear mongering during that time.
Yeah.
We were told a lot that was, I mean, we were told a
Allegedly
lot.
not true.
Yeah, like I don't know how to even reference it because I don't want our shit getting taken down. But
Right. Well, no,
during
that was
that
like
time
one of the things I
period, it
heard
was
when I was
not.
watching documentaries and everything
I
of
know, but you
COVID, and I'm
can't
like,
believe everything you hear, bro.
right.
Like a lot of that shit was fear mongering. A
Yeah.
lot of that shit was made up. A lot of that shit was being twisted by the media and the public and the government. Like
Yeah.
anybody that
Yeah.
could twist it in any way was twisting it the way they wanted to. Do you remember when the White House literally released a statement saying it was going to be the winter of death? If you didn't have the shot, you were probably going to die.
Well,
That
here's the thing
happened.
about that time.
That
Not
literally
only
happened. Do you
right.
not realize that the White House like fear mongered everybody?
Yeah. Well, here's the worst part about that, right?
What the hell?
Here's the worst part about that. Not only were they fear mongering us about that, but in Missouri, Julie, this is the worst thing about that happened back in 2021 in Missouri, right around the right after the Super Bowl. No, right of during the Super Bowl to was it March, Rob?
Maybe what happened?
We went into a really bad snowstorm.
Yeah. No,
And
yeah. You're right.
when the White House did that, a lot of us in Missouri were freaking out because we were dealing with a really bad snowstorm.
Well, and everybody freaking bought out all the food at the grocery stores, but that was like
And the
normal. I heard
toilet
that happened
paper
everywhere.
and
That
toilet
that
Yeah.
paper and
that
all that.
happened everywhere. That didn't just happen here. But
Yeah.
people like when the government says something crazy or the media says something crazy, people panic.
Yeah.
And when people panic, they panic buy. Okay, it happens all the time. It happened back in Y2K. It happened with COVID. It's gonna happen again, and it's gonna happen again after that. Okay, like
Yeah.
people panic buy. Remember
Like,
when nobody could find any toilet paper?
yeah, like,
You remember when that was the meme? Like, how clean
yeah.
do your guys' butts need to be? I just need one roll. Can you please
Look,
give it to me?
here's the worst part about around that time. So this was around when me and my wife were having our issues, right around the February mark, because this was around February, right? So right after Super Bowl, I was dealing with really bad weather, and I was working at Walgreens at the time. I'm walking, I'm walking all the way from my apartment where I was living at the time, because I was living in an apartment complex, all the way to either the grocery store or to a place called uh, Dollar Tree.
Right.
And I call up Rob one day, and it's in the really bad weather. I said, "Hey, bro, I'd hate to bother you, but could you possibly send me some, money so I could Uber home?" Or and he's like, "Yeah, why? What's happening?" I'm like, "Well, I I'm not be I can't, man, because I just spent my last bit of money for supplies because of the stupid ass weather, and I'm
Didn't
stuck
I
at
just
Dollar
come
Tree."
get you? I'm
No,
pretty
you
sure
you
it
you
just.
couldn't even get out because how bad it was.
Okay.
You were in Independence at the time, and you would have, but you couldn't because how bad it was. You said I
Yeah.
would get you, but I could try to. He didn't even send me money, Julie. What he ended up doing is he got me an Uber.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but back then, when they were talking about the shots and whatnot, a friend of mine and I looked up. He had a list of all the stuff that was in the shots somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Hey,
how. His
we,
mom was a blood doctor.
Julie, Julie,
Oh, but I refused it.
I totally understand, and as you should. I had I had people that basically the people that I work for tried to scare people into thinking they were going to lose their jobs if they didn't take it.
Yeah.
So we had to go through all that. And I didn't take the entire thing, but I had the first shot. Um it didn't affect me negatively, but I also didn't get boosted 9 times. And there are people out there that literally got that booster shot 9 times.
See, I didn't get the
Yeah.
booster shot.
I've
I just
heard
got the
that.
2 shots before the booster shot.
Yeah, like I got I got the first shot. I didn't get the second one. I didn't
And,
get any of the
and I
boosters.
will tell you this: both times, you're not supposed to say it'll affect you in a certain way. I didn't. It is. It just all it did for me was it
Do you
made
remember
my
how weird it was going in and getting the shot? Because the only time I went in to go get it, do you remember? Like I saw 2 women like literally about faint and die on the floor. It freaked me out. Like that happened in front of me, and then after they gave me it or whatever, they were like, "We need you to sit down in this chair for an hour so we can monitor you." That scared the ever living shit out of me to where I did not go back. I was like,
see.
"I'm not having another one." They don't even know what that does to
They,
people.
they looked at me
Yeah.
when okay. So when I was working at Walgreens at the time, right?
Yeah.
Um, that's where I got both my shots was at Walgreens, and they asked me if I was okay. I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine," but my arm freaking hurts. So like, let me check your arm real quick. And they check my arm. My arm will go like you know how when your arm is in really bad pain and you can't really use your arm, it'll go like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it would do. And they're like, let's go get our boss. So they called the GM and they said look what happens to his arm. And I showed and he's like, go home. because
Right.
a lot of the employees were affected in a certain way with both shots. But my arm was in so much pain, that's what it would do. And he had to call someone else to come in and cover the rest of my shift because how bad my arm was hurting. And
Yeah,
the
Right.
I've
next
heard about
day,
that.
and the
I mean,
next
things like
day,
that.
I was supposed to work. He called me. He's like, "How's your arm?" And I was like, "It's so badly in pain." He's like, "Don't even worry about coming in." I'm like, "Yeah," because I was about to call you anyways. He's like, "Why? What's up?" My whole entire apartment complex, the parking lot is covered in snow. I can't even leave. He's like, "What? How far? Don't you live that? Don't you not live that far from us?" I was like, "No, I mean I could walk, but I don't want to slip because where I lived, right, we had
Yeah.
a thing called Penguin Park,
Yeah, I know where Penguin Park is.
and Penguin Park it's so big, right? It has like on one side called um it's not far from Vivian, right? Vivian Road.
Yeah,
Rob,
the
you know
Vivian
where that is.
Road.
And that side's where Penguin Park's at. But on the side I was living on, where my apartment complex is, there's this big old lake, and you remember that lake, Rob?
Yeah,
You can actually go fishing in that lake if you want to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I was telling him about that, and I was like, dude, I can't. He's like, why? What's wrong? I was like, that whole sidewalk in the woods straight to Penguin Park is so icy because I'll tell you now, the night before when I was headed home, I about slipped and fallen a couple of times. So like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. They don't even clear that out, and they have not even cleared out my entire parking lot. I'm stuck in the apartment. He's like, send me a picture. So I took a picture and sent it to his personal phone number because I was on the phone with him on the work phone, like
Yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
work number. And I took a picture, sent it directly to his actual personal number, and he's like, "Whoa, okay, yeah, stay home."
Yeah.
Because how bad that Rob will tell you because he's been over there hanging out with me or come and pick me up to take me over where he was living at the time, and he could tell you it's not a nice um parking lot, isn't it, Rob?
No. I
It's
Hey, I
so
have
didn't
a
like
cramped.
that
It's
question
parking
so
lot.
though.
bad.
Curiosity killed the cat, you know, but hey, did they actually have penguins there at one time? Is that why they call it Penguin Park?
No,
No, it's because they have
no.
a giant penguin there.
They okay. So at Penguin Park, they have giant like statue like animals that you can actually go into.
Yeah, they have like a
And
Okay.
giraffe, they have an elephant, they have a
yeah,
penguin, they have all
and
kinds of stuff.
you can actually
Okay.
go inside to the bottom back of the giant statue penguin and play inside of it. I've been
Yeah,
inside of it. It's actually pretty cool.
I
Uh,
have pictures of my kiddo standing outside of
I
it.
I used to go over there when I was living over there, right, to Penguin Park because they have three different Pokestops over there at
Yeah.
Penguin
Okay.
Park, and I would sit at this little like shelter spot that's over there and just play Pokemon Go, minding my own business.
Well, like crew, you want to we want to get into these videos?
Heck yeah!
All
What about
right.
our sponsor?
Oh yeah, we can show the sponsor video. That's not a problem.
Did you guys
I
get
don't think
your
people understand.
What?
Did you guys get your Sasquatch suds yet? I
We're
did.
getting them. I got them. I got them in the mail last week.
Okay.
I don't think people understand just how messy Bigfoot gets. Mud, moss, mystery stains. His laundry's legendary. But now he's got a secret weapon. Watch as Bigfoot wrestles a puny detergent. Oops, there goes the cap. Enter Sasquatch Suds. With Yeti strength cleaning power and pine-scented freshness, even his fluffiest fur sparkles. Now, Bigfoot struts past campers. Wait, is that envy or just amazement? Sasquatch Suds, for fur and duds.
Go get yourself some Sasquatch suds if you got a furry friend that needs a clean.
Today, a Wichita teen arrested just yesterday after he was on the run for months makes a first appearance in court. Jaden Watts is charged with second-degree murder. It's for the death of DeMarc Burgess. This happened back in March. Watts' bond set at $1 million. He was taken into custody with the help of U.S. Marshals.
So what do you think about that?
Wow.
That's a lot of money for a teenager.
Yeah.
But with the crime, you
How
gotta
old
pay.
did they say he was?
Did they say 15 or
Yeah, I
16?
think they said he was 15 or 14
Yeah,
years
I
old when
think
he
that's what
committed
I
the
heard.
crime.
15 or 14.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Very.
And it's for murder.
Out in
If he knew
Wichita.
what he did, he obviously knew what he did if he was running from the feds.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know that that was hard to read, but I'm pretty sure that that's the video about the thing that's going on in Paris right now. Or there was a injection syringe scare or something. I don't know. I think I have another video on it, but it
Yeah,
I
I've
didn't.
heard that about 125 people had been pricked at a
Yeah,
festival.
yeah, that crazy.
Very much so.
Do they know what was in it?
I was watching one of the other news reports, and they say they weren't sure, but 125 people got pricked,
Oh my goodness.
Mm-mm-mm.
and there were some girls that were kidnapped
Oh no.
allegedly. There were 4 girls that went missing. I think is what they said, either missing or something like that.
That's
It's
crazy.
Yeah, that is.
yeah. So who knows what they were trying to do?
How you feel about that, crew?
That's crazy.
Can you believe
Scary
that
to think
that
about.
people were going around and poking people with syringes?
Yeah,
Random people,
that's crazy to think about and scary.
right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine being in public and then all of a sudden somebody just Jeffrey Dahmers you, but instead of
Okay.
doing your drink, fucking hits you with a syringe?
Okay. So th- so you know how I like to play those AI games
Uh-huh.
where you're talking to doing random stories. There's
Yeah.
a random story where they have it to where they'll prick you with a syringe and turn you into a girl. It's called the
What the
exchange.
fuck?
I'm like, what the heck? This is some crazy conspiracy nonsense. Like,
You're into some weird
what kind of
stuff,
chemical can
crew.
turn you into a girl?
I'm not gonna judge you, crew. You
No,
probably
no,
watched and
no, no,
read
no, no, no.
Ranma, right?
What I'm saying is those are some stories that are on those stupid AI things, and I'm like looking
Yeah.
at all this. I'm like, that's some
Did did you read Ranma One Half, the manga?
no,
Did you ever see Ranma One Half?
no.
It's literally the story about a boy who, when he gets touched by water, turns into a girl.
What the
Oh my
heck?
goodness.
Yeah, dude, I read the books when I was a kid. I should not have been reading those books.
I mean, I've read some crazy stuff back in the day, but that's one anime I've not heard about, so I don't
They
really
made
want to read it.
they made an actual anime for it, like an animated
Mm-mm.
series. It's called Ranma One Half.
Mm.
No, wow.
That
Yeah,
looked
that's
like it
more.
was happening in France.
Yeah, that was more about the syringe thing.
Mm.
Still so crazy to me that people were going around poking people with syringes, and they got how many, Julie? 125.
about 124, 25.
Wait,
Jeez
what was
Louise.
in the syringes?
That's what I asked. Julie said they don't
Yeah,
know yet.
they don't know yet from the news source I watch, but around 124, 25 people got pricked.
Crazy.
That is
And
crazy.
like I said, the 4 girls went missing.
Was that at a rave or something?
No, it was at a festival.
Oh, okay.
Here at home, Kansas City leaders are promising to crack down on businesses that are tied to crime. This comes after a violent weekend where 5 people were killed and several others hurt. The largest of the events happening just off the 18th and Vine district early Sunday morning. Mayor Quentin Lucas told us that they plan to hold people accountable.
Kansas City deserves safety. Our children deserve a proud street that they can walk up and down and feel safe. And everybody in Kansas City deserves safety.
In the 18th and Vine district, we've learned the name of the man who was killed. They've been identified as Tyrick Henry. Leonard Holman is charged with unlawful discharge of a firearm in connection to that shooting.
See, that stuff's not going to stop until they end the gang violence out here.
Right.
It's not going to stop until they break up the gangs, and that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They've said the same shit in Chicago for how long, and it's never happened.
Exactly.
They're not going to be able to break the gangs up.
Right.
How would they do it? The gang would just reform.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just criminals.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. You can lock them up, but they're still going to get back out eventually unless they do something really bad.
Yeah, they probably grew up that way and just don't know how to get away from it, maybe.
Yeah, they grew up in a situation like that.
Panie pośle, przywołuję pana do porządku. Proszę nie niszczyć wystawy. Przywołuję pana do porządku. Niszczy pan mienie. To jest zgorszenie publiczne.
A czym jest to zgorszenie?
So who was that?
It was a Polish leader who was destroying a LGBTQ art display in public. Like, he went to this place, found out that there was art that was being displayed by LGBTQ members, and he broke and destroyed the art in front of everybody.
And they didn't do nothing to stop him.
They couldn't. He's basically
Not
a
if he's the
representative
leader.
of the country.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying they couldn't do anything. That's the scary thing, is there was no way they could control that man's actions.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We're tired of lip service. We're tired of broken promises. What do you want me to do? Not care? Not be affected? Not be overwhelmed? Not be frustrated? Not be passionate? I can't. I live here. My mom lives here. My sister lives here. And these tears are not a sign of weakness. They're a sign of frustration. These babies that are picking up trash every single day have to watch what I call Club 35th and Prospect right here outside of Big D's Liquor. Grown men sitting on milk cartons, gambling, smoking, doing drugs in the open air. And we just supposed to turn a blind eye to that and not care? How? In what world? So we're going to keep prosecuting. We're going to keep holding people accountable. We're charging drug distribution and possession cases in this corridor to crack down on that illegal activity. We're identifying high-impact offenders. We're collaborating and cooperating with businesses. But you got to play ball with us, because if you don't, we're going to run up the score, and I can promise you that. We're not taking this anymore.
I didn't know we had that bad of an open air drug epidemic in Kansas City, specifically off of Prospect.
We do.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes
believe it.
sense. I didn't realize.
You know what? Back when I was younger, you didn't really see. I mean, you saw where there was homelessness, you saw where people smoked, but it wasn't broadcasted as much as it
Right.
is now, is what I'm saying.
Well,
Yeah.
it got to that point, Julie, because here's the thing: Kansas City, for example, Independence, and Blue Springs, all have that bad issue.
Yeah. And in the
And
major cities.
and
And
they're
then
trying
all
to
those homeless camps and stuff.
Yep. And they're trying to clear out a lot out because it's getting worse.
Yeah, it gets pretty bad out here, that's for sure.
It's time for Media Meltdowns. Well, the US has destroyed Iran's nuclear facility, and the president has been clear for a very long time that Iran cannot hold a nuclear weapon. But according to MSNBC, when Iran chants death to America, oh, well, they don't really mean it.
Why is it a foundational issue for Trump that Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon? Why is this something that the U.S. should be involved in? Why are we allied with Israel?
He says because they chant death to America.
They chant death to America. I went to Iran in 2014. I was sitting at a rally. These young guys were chanting death to America. I had a minder. I said, what are they saying? They're saying death to America. They finished the chant, and two young men came over and said, are you American? I said, yes. We want to welcome you to our country. We love American culture and love American movies. They wanted to talk about all these things. Iran is the most Western nation in the whole Middle East.
And Margaret Brennan, host of CBS News' Face the Nation, had to be reminded by Marco Rubio of why Iran could not hold nuclear weapons, and the fact that the regime had everything they needed to was enough to justify the strike.
Are you saying there that the United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization?
That's irrelevant. I think that question being asked in the media, that's an irrelevant question.
No,
they have
that is
everything
the
they need
key
to build
point
a
in
weapon.
U.S. intelligence assessments. You know
no,
that.
It's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's
that
not.
The political decision had not
I know
been
that better
made.
than you know that, and I know that that's not the case.
But I'm asking you whether the order was given.
And the people who say that, it doesn't matter if the order was given. They have everything they need to build nuclear weapons. Why would you bury things in a mountain, 300 feet under the ground?
Right.
Why would you bury why do they have 60% enriched uranium? You don't need 60% enriched uranium. The only countries in the world that have uranium at 60% are countries that have nuclear weapons.
Marco Rubio reminding CBS of what is relevant. But the New York Times, well, they might deserve some credit here. Let me know what you think. New York Times has been covering the most critical parts of America's historic strike on Iran's nuclear sites, reporting on Pete Hegseth's briefing. The New York Times journalist wrote, in the briefing, Hegseth referred to B-2 pilots as our boys on those bombers, yet both men and women have been trained to fly them. Well done, New York Times. Excellent point that both men and women can fly planes. But it was LA Sheriff's Department's post that really takes the cake. The LA Sheriff's Department posted condolences to families in Iran who were, quote, impacted by Iran's nuclear sites getting blown up. In a shared post, they say, our hearts go out to the victims and the families impacted by the recent bombing in Iran, the bombing that did not hurt anyone. This post has now been edited and deleting the condolences. And then there's the hosts of The View. Joy Behar seriously questioned why Donald Trump didn't tell the Iranians he was going to bomb their nuclear sites.
Did he keep it a secret? For the surprise, the surprise version?
I mean, absolutely, the diversion, and you saw the way that the all indications were the B-2s were flying towards Guam. Everybody thought, okay, so we're getting in position to be ready. They wanted to have some element of surprise. Let's face it, there wasn't really much element of surprise. I mean, this had been in the works for a long time, but to have the final moment to be a surprise.
So I find it absolutely hilarious that some of these media members want to completely duck questions that I can pull up videos right now where Obama and Clinton and a couple other people who were far left Democrats all said the same exact thing that Trump just did was correct.
Yep.
So,
Me too. I've
yeah,
seen them.
that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. So anybody criticizing Donald Trump for the strikes on Iran's nuclear sites, like, I'm sorry, I guess just get over it, because Obama and Clinton would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what else to say. I'm like, I guess it just happened during Trump's time, so that's why it's a problem.
Yep.
If it would have happened during Obama's time, nobody would have thrown this big of a fit.
Yep.
And then
Yeah, I don't.
there's this whole thing about the ceasefire. Like, apparently Israel and Iran both broke the ceasefire.
Yeah. They both sent off those whatever they call it, missiles or whatnot. But I haven't heard anything else about it. But you know what I wonder? Just off, what about Russia?
Oh,
Because
Russia's
Russia's been
already came
hitting
out.
civilians.
Russia's already came out and said they will not protect Iran. They're basically like, we're sorry, this is not our battle. This is a war between you and the Middle East, basically, that you've had for a very, very long time, and we've already told you we don't want any involvement in this. So like Putin's already like, no, I don't want any involvement. I
Then
think
why did he hit all the civilian buildings?
who hit civilian buildings?
Russia.
Russia hit civilian buildings where?
I don't know. I've seen videos about that, but I don't know how legit that is.
Well, I've heard that Russia's hit civilian buildings in Ukraine.
Maybe that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know how many civilian buildings have been hit by Russia in Ukraine. I know civilians have died in Ukraine. I don't know how many. That's something we would have to look up.
Yeah.
But
we
it's
have
really
a
hard.
comment from 10-3-13. Robert, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you? What was that platform?
Kick.
I'm doing great, brother. Thank you. But yeah, no, it's craziness, because if you don't like Trump, it's cool to bash Trump. If you like Trump, you can't tell anybody unless you're cold hard MAGA, and everybody's like, if you're MAGA, you're a terrorist. So, it's like super hard for anybody to like do anything nowadays, and I don't feel like the administration is really doing what they promised either. And I think people are starting to see that on both sides.
Yeah, true.
And it's kind of hard to do what you promised, though, when Israel decides they're going to bomb whoever they want.
They said, we stand blessed, my man, and then 3 gifts.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's craziness.
Yeah. Thank you for clearing up that country.
Yeah,
I
I think
just,
it's Ukraine, but I couldn't
yeah,
tell you for sure.
yeah.
It's a 5-alarm fire for the outrage economy. A direct challenge to a system that rewards theatrics over thought and viral tantrums over meaningful conversation. His target isn't just Whoopi Goldberg or Sunny Hostin, it's the entire spectacle. The full-on circus that's been dressing up emotional overreactions as intellectual debate. It's a bold move. Maybe even a long shot. But one thing's for sure, it's loud enough to make America stop scrolling and start paying attention. Sure, there's a table on set, but it's less roundtable discussion, more carousel of condescension, where facts are twisted, opinions are shouted, and smugness is served as the main course. What passes for commentary is often just performance, loud, raw, and rarely reasoned. It's hard to tell where parody ends and reality begins. And when that line blurs this much, eventually, someone steps in to hit pause. Charlie Kirk just did, with a $100 million...
Charlie Kirk suing The View? Is that legit?
I
We
have
have a
not heard
question.
that, but I've been following Charlie, and I've been getting a lot of the updates from him. I don't know what type of thing. I mean, it looks legit because he has a blue check mark, but I'm not sure exactly who he is.
We have a
Look, we
question,
got
I
a
think, but
special
I'm not
visitor.
reading it out loud.
We got Cruz Cat, special visitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a question from the same person. So
Yeah.
whoever wants to answer that, go ahead.
What is it? What's the question?
I'm not reading the last part out.
I can't
Would
see the
you-
comment.
Would
Okay.
you rather watch a tree grow or a knee grow?
Neither. Trees are boring, and you can't watch. You can't, I can't comment on the last one. People watch,
Yeah.
but I watch all people. I watch all people.
And then he kind of doing a ha-ha thing.
Yeah, I watch all people. You know who my favorite people to watch are? Old white people. Because they're absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I love Karens. I love watching Karens on YouTube.
Oh yeah, they're funny sometimes. We
Yeah.
got a special
Especially
cat
when they're going
visitor.
after skateboarders.
Yeah.
Yep.
Florida is moving forward with plans to build a new immigration detention center in the Everglades. Attorney General James Etmeyer announced that the federal government approved a plan to build what officials are calling Alligator Alcatraz. The 1,000-plus bed facility will be at an abandoned airport surrounded by wetland, pythons, and alligators. Etmeyer calls it a one-stop shop to carry out Trump's deportation operation.
So we're getting Swampcatraz. I didn't have that on my 2025 bingo card.
Me neither.
Swampcatraz. No, that's crazy.
No, thank you. I wouldn't want to go there.
No,
Near
me
the
neither.
pythons.
Me neither.
So check this out. A Utah judge said some of the craziest stuff I think I've ever heard in the courtroom, and now pretty much everybody just wants him to resign. Y'all like the video right here? Check this out.
Well, a Utah judge is now facing bipartisan calls for his resignation. This over comments the judge made during a recent sentencing that were first brought to light by KSL. News specialist Daniel Woodger first broke this story. He joins us now with this exclusive update. Daniel, what did you find out?
Well, Debbie, in this letter here that we obtained, the top Republican and Democrat in the House of Representatives say the judge's comments in this case were unacceptable. They also criticized the Utah State Court's response to this entire controversy.
The more I talk about it, the more it upsets me.
House Speaker Mike Schultz isn't happy with Judge Don Torgerson, who last month sentenced 22-year-old Aiden Hoffman in Grand County for 2 felonies. Court documents say Hoffman possessed and distributed multiple images of children being raped and used. At the sentencing, Torgerson decided Hoffman would serve no additional time behind bars and pay no fine while being put on probation for 4 years. Schultz called that a slap on the wrist.
But what was really concerning to me was the comments that this judge made during the sentencing hearing.
He's referring to what Torgerson said to Hoffman about the nearly 4 months he had already spent in jail.
112 days is a lot of jail time. It's a lot of jail time for someone your age who comes from some level of privilege.
The judge also said this after viewing 2 videos Hoffman possessed showing children being and abused.
I did defense work. I've seen worse.
That's not okay. That's horrific. Even if the judge had seen worse, you don't say that in the court. You don't say that in front of the defendant.
Schultz says Torgerson should have apologized. Instead, the court put out a statement defending the judge and criticizing KSL's reporting. The court claimed the plea agreement spared Hoffman from more time behind bars. But Schultz points out that's not what it said. It gave the prosecutor the right to argue for prison, which he did.
And so, you add all those things together and we have a problem here.
Schultz is not alone in feeling this way. The top Democrat in the House, Minority Leader Angela Romero, is also calling for Torgerson to step down and for the judiciary to investigate. In a joint letter, she and Schultz call the judge's comments flat out unacceptable, showing an alarming lack of judgment.
I just felt like it was an important message for us to send to that judge, to think about the words and the power he has and the impact it has on victims of assault, child.
But Torgerson remains on the bench. The House Speaker is now putting together a group of lawmakers to consider the next steps.
And to make a recommendation to our body as to what they see fit.
If he doesn't resign.
If he doesn't resign. Certainly impeachment is always an option. I don't know that that's the right way forward, but everything's on the table.
Now, the House Speaker met with the Utah Chief Justice today to talk about this. Both sides called that a productive meeting. A court spokesperson tells me the judiciary looks forward now to further discussions with legislative leaders about this case. Judge Torgerson himself has not commented.
That's ridiculous.
That is totally crazy.
That's
you want to read the
disgusting.
comments? We have 2 more comments.
3 intellectuals discussing important ideas. Last thing we want is slack-jawed pedo and intellectuals discussing things they have no idea about.
For sure.
Spectacular new views from space.
These are images from a new telescope at the Vera C. Rubin Observatory in the Andes Mountains of Chile.
They show distant stars and galaxies thousands of light years from Earth, some so new they haven't even been named.
The telescope's mirror is almost 28 feet wide, and the images of the celestial objects are taken with the world's largest digital camera at 3,200 megapixels.
It will produce data at a scale and speed no previous telescope ever has, and you can access it all through your smartphone, showing the universe in a new light.
Beyond spectacular.
Okay. How do you feel about that one, crew? Are you still there, crew?
Comments. Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
We have 2 more comments. We have from the same person, sheesh. And then same person asks, Robert, how long you been out of prison? Question mark.
I've never been to prison. Never
I
been to
think that's
prison.
about asteroids.
Yeah, Roberts also never has not been locked up in or whatever. So
I've been to
they were
jail
asking.
before.
Yeah,
I've
but
been to jail before. I've just never been
yeah,
to
but
prison.
right.
I don't do anything
But
that stupid.
yeah, was that an asteroid thing they were talking about?
Yeah, I think so. Was that what that was, crew?
I couldn't tell because I was looking at
Let's
the
watch
phone.
it again.
Spectacular new views from space.
That's
That
a
was
solar
the
flare.
solar system. Solar.
Like solar storms or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a solar flare.
Wonderful.
I'm here at the Otay Mesa port of entry, and as you can see here, this area covered by steel plates. This is actually where Border Patrol agents made access to an illegal drug smuggling tunnel, and at its steepest point, it goes about 50 feet beneath the ground.
It's a sophisticated tunnel, as we refer to it here from Border Patrol.
Equipped with ventilation, electrical wiring, and a railway track to transport contraband, this is what Border Patrol agents who are part of the tunnel team uncovered in early April. Friday was the first time we saw where they made entry to the cross-border illegal drug smuggling tunnel.
Once the agents from the tunnel team made entry into this tunnel, in order to map it out and conduct their investigation, they were moving through this tunnel and discovered that the foreign terrorist organization put in improvised barricades, so material in there to prevent agents from moving through there.
Border Patrol agent Justin Castrojon says the tunnel was mapped, and with help from Mexican law enforcement, they were able to trace the point of origin to a residence in Nueva Tijuana.
The projected exit point was an industrial area here, an industrial housing here in Otay Mesa.
Since the mid-90s, around 95 tunnels have been found and decommissioned in San Diego. It's believed this tunnel was not in operation because it was under construction.
This is constructed by a criminal organization, highly sophisticated criminal organization. There could be booby traps. Who knows what's going on in these tunnels when agents first make entry. So safety is paramount, but it's imperative that they make entry into these tunnels and construct a full mapping of its length.
While Border Patrol agents continue their work to detect and shut down illegal cross-border drug smuggling tunnels, Castrojon asks the community for help too.
If you see something suspicious in this, especially in this industrial area, call us.
How crazy would it be to find a hole in your backyard that went to Mexico?
Right.
That'd be crazy.
It'd be ridiculous.
So we are at the pool near Lake Tahoe, and it is snowing today. Today is June 21st. It is summer, and it is snowing. This is how Lake Tahoe is. It sometimes snows in the summer. And you would think we're gonna close the pool because it's snowing, right? Nope. There's people swimming. It's the joy of a heated pool and hot tub. I don't want to show guests, but the hot tub is full of guests. Look at that.
This is crazy.
This is a ski resort, so we're very high up, which is why it's snowing. Can't even see in the distance. Wow.
I mean, it is crazy, but you know, it snows in the Rockies during the summer all the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
that
that
looked
said?
like it was a parking lot full of motorcycles
What did
that caught on
the
fire.
caption say? It was a large motorcycle fire at a motorcycle parking lot in China. Crazy.
Yeah,
I would not want to be around that.
me neither.
你命大啊，兄弟啊，这个危险啊，只能要等消防来了。没信号都没信号啊！啊，唔係有部噶，唔係。那有個小車啊，那邊有兩個小車啊。
Dude, how scary would that be? To be stuck
very.
off the bridge and only being held on by the backside of your truck.
Right.
I don't even know what I would do in that situation, crew. That's like a nightmare.
Yeah, that is a nightmare. I could not even handle it.
No way. And that was also in China.
Yeah.
We're not entirely sure what led them to Burnaby's Beaverbrook Crescent. We do know it's an unusual sight, especially this sort of behavior playing out right in the middle of the street. One seems to dominate, the other clicking its jaw, sounding rather displeased.
I didn't know what to think, so we didn't know what was happening or how it started happening.
Matthew Chow began recording, keeping his distance safely in a car, while the two black bears, not the least bit concerned they brought traffic to a halt, remained clearly focused on each other.
And some cars backed away. Some cars turned around and left.
But as the bears began snarling, growling, taking brief breaks to catch their breath, not a single person approached. No one honked their horn on Saturday afternoon. They knew they just had to let nature play itself out.
So the two bears were like fighting each other, and like it got intense at some points where they were like ripping each other's like fur out.
Black bear brawls are nothing new, but they don't usually fight in front of humans. Often it's a dispute over mating, dominance, or territory, and these showdowns are not always quick.
About an hour or so.
It went on for an hour?
Yeah.
So you guys couldn't go anywhere, could you?
No, we just stayed. It went by fast.
The incident was reported to conservation officers, and word spread that two large bears are in the neighborhood.
I go for walks every day by this area, by the creek, and I think it's going to scare me now for a while.
We're told this long battle eventually drew to an end, and the bears wandered back into the woods.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine seeing that?
Crazy things happening in the world right now. China just unveiled a military drone the size of a mosquito. It uses flapping wings instead of propellers, weighs just a few grams, and can land on surfaces like a real bug. Built for urban surveillance, it's controlled by a smartphone, and it's so small it's nearly impossible to detect by radar or sight. Gold is erupting out of volcanoes in Hawaii. Scientists just found traces of gold and a rare metal called ruthenium in lava rocks, elements that normally exist only deep in Earth's core. This suggests molten plumes are dragging precious metals 2,900 kilometers up to the surface. And in Norway, a man literally woke up to a 443-foot cargo ship in his front yard. It missed his house by just 5 meters. The ship somehow drifted completely off course while he was asleep. Authorities still don't know how it happened.
Jeez. Could you imagine waking up to a cargo ship in your front yard?
No.
It only misses your house by 12 feet.
Right.
What?
And then that little bug thing, that's interesting.
That is interesting. It just said that satellite images made it look like that those facilities that were hit by the Trump administration were already uh, the uranium was already taken out or whatever.
Right.
I don't know if I believe that or not, but I mean that's something that's being pushed right now.
Hey, Elm Street. Elm Street says, have you guys ever been in a big earthquake? That's how I'd suspect a cargo ship feeling like.
Oh my goodness, I can only imagine. But yeah, I've been in an earthquake. It wasn't a big earthquake though.
The operation was really extraordinary. These guys flew from Missouri. They didn't land a single time. They dropped 30,000-pound bombs on a target the size of a washing machine, and then got back home safely without ever landing in the Middle East or ever.
Way to throw us under the bus, JD.
Yeah.
Way to throw Missouri under the bus.
Donald Trump said that Vladimir Putin called him up, asking him, do you guys need help with Israel and Iran? And I want to read for you what he said here. He says, as you know, Vladimir called me up. He said, can I help you with Iran? I said, no, I don't need help with Iran. I need help with you. And I hope that we're going to get a deal done with Russia, which is a shame. 6,000 soldiers dead last week. When asked about a ceasefire, he did say that he'd like to see a deal with Russia. But right now, Russia is continuing their attacks on civilians, in which Dnipro, that train incident in which Russia did target not only a train station, a train, and the buildings around it, the deaths in that are climbing. We're at 18 deaths. This comes as well. Zelensky gave a speech during NATO. He had a standing ovation. And hopefully, in this latest NATO summit, we'll finally see more support for Ukraine and more pressure onto Russia in terms of sanctions. I'll be sure to keep you updated, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.
So yeah, Julie, they're talking about how Russia possibly killed civilians in Ukraine.
Elm Street said I was in like a 4.5 or something, couldn't even stand LMAO, never want to feel it again. I had to help my dad and just got back. And then said, I mean, I think Trump def had to do some damage because Iran was kind of quiet about it until yesterday. Maybe because they buried the entrance with dirt. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
A new government review warns the UK must actively prepare for potential war in the homeland. The National Security Strategy says it's the first time in many years that conflict on home soil has to be considered. The report points to Russia and Iran as potential threats to the UK.
So the United Kingdom's freaking out too?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Everybody's freaking out, apparently. It's the badass stealth bomber. The B-2.
Elm Street said I wouldn't give Trump the satisfaction either if I was Iran.
No.
Extreme heat across the country. So hot, a road buckled, sending cars flying in the air. Tens of millions of people facing dangerously high temps this week.
That road said, "Nope, I can't take this heat no more.
Right.
I can't do it." I've never seen a road buckle like that because of the heat. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That like we said earlier, Julie, that's not that far away from us.
Yeah.
Do you think it would mess up the cars if
Oh yeah, for sure. That car that like launched off of the freaking thing got messed up for sure. Or are you talking about the heat?
I mean I guess the road, if you went too fast on it, it could probably ruin the car.
Oh yeah, the road would destroy. Like that dude got air, and he like slammed his front part of the car down. I mean, you're breaking something.
Oh yeah.
Cars don't do that in real life and like walk away with nothing unless you're in a lifted vehicle with a good suspension.
Oh yeah.
If you're in a normal vehicle stock that you bought from your local dealership, you probably just broke your axle flying off that high.
Yeah. Oh, we got another comment. He says, I have seen Russia kill Ukraine citizens. There's horrible videos showing even the Wagner group doing wicked stuff. I don't know if you remember Prign. I can't say that right. Prigozhin.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that Russia has. I just don't say. I don't say things for certain because I'm not over there, and I get my news like everybody else does off of the social media, or stupid TikTok videos. So it's hard to know what's even real anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
This AI shit's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
The military guy who stormed Russia recently surrendered and then died in a plane wreck.
Yep.
And then, like a few years ago.
Yeah, I do know that.
Okay.
There's one person in the world that's completely losing it over all of this, and that would be the very, in my estimation, immature Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So AOC came out with a big tweet shortly after this went down, and I will share it with you. This was around 9:40 p.m. over the weekend, and she wrote, "The president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It is absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment." AOC demanding that the president be impeached over this. We saw Hakeem Jeffries come out as well with tweets. He did not actually go so far as to say he should be impeached, but he was questioning his authority to do this. So you're seeing these rumblings, and yet at the same time, you actually have a lot of Democrats that have been very supportive at this moment. I want to go to Senator Fetterman, for example, out of Pennsylvania. You know, the one who can't wear a suit and tie, but he's growing on me. What can I say? He's growing on me, especially after I heard this. I mean, her own party is coming down on her because she's acting, in my estimation, like a spoiled little brat. And they're like, get with the program, right? So this is Senator Fetterman saying, really, no, time and place, honey. This is all wrong. Let's watch.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says the president shouldn't be impeached because he's impulsive. What do you think of that?
But no, I mean, of course, no. She knows it. I know it. We all know it. That's not going anywhere. And, he's been impeached twice, and now he's still our president as well now, too. So it's not going anywhere, and I don't think that's helpful. And I think if you throw that term around, that actually diminishes what the severity of what impeachment is really reserved for.
Yeah, right? I mean, he's been impeached twice. And he's not wrong. Fetterman is totally right. When you start throwing this term around and you just want to impeach everyone, then you actually run the risk that you damage the authority if you would, of Congress when that's all they do, right? Because they just become the party of opposition. And even when you're facing the rather significant world crisis that we're facing, if you can't all be on the same team, then you got a little bit of a problem going on. So Senator Fetterman kind of trying to put her in her place, and he wasn't the only one over the weekend. I want to share with you what Van Jones, kind of big deal Democrat over there on CNN, which is very, very liberal network, even he's like, okay, you know what, enough is enough. And not only did he call out AOC, he called out all the progressives who are, well, saying what they're saying, right? You know, they want to go on and on about he needs to be impeached, this is wrong, etc. Just listen to Van Jones for a second.
I think progressives underestimate how dangerous Iran is. Iran is not a normal country. They cannot have a bomb, and I think progressives should get on board with that. We cannot have a nuclear-armed Iran. I was in the region. You were in the region. This is a very dangerous power that cannot get a nuclear weapon.
No. Like, that should not be that political. I was Saturday night, again, in Live Free or Die, New Hampshire, and it was a diverse group of political opinions that I was with on Saturday evening. You see, I hang out with all sides, guys. You know me. Anyway, one person, actually my cousin.
So AOC is apparently losing it.
Right.
I can't even say Ocasio Cortez.
Okay. Elm Street said
Ortiz
he ran.
or something.
Yeah. He said he ran a group called the Wagner Group who passed torture videos online.
Yeah, I've heard of the Wagner Group.
And then Putin didn't care, I guess, either. Each
No.
side always tries to impeach because you should get congressional approval, but new president's time and again making decision as chief of the military. She clearly has a lot of plastic surgery done for TV. LOL, had to say it. I never read the whole what AOC says. IMAO.
Yeah, AOC is full of trash.
Yeah.
If you live in New York City, this message is for you. Over the past few days, there's been rising tensions. Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, has irresponsibly made a statement saying that there is a possibility that Iran will attack New York City. This has led to an unwarranted fear amongst New Yorkers. Let me be very clear. Iran does not possess the capabilities to attack the United States. Iran possesses no artillery that can strike New York City. There has been a report that there are about 40 to 50 sleeper cell agents living within the US. And if you do not know what a sleeper cell agent is, let me explain. A sleeper cell refers to a clandestine group of operatives or sleeper agents who live ordinary, unremarkable lives within their target country. I can assure you that both the FBI and the CIA know who these people are and most likely have them under consistent surveillance. Since 9/11, not only has New York become one of the most protected and secured cities in America, but there is also a military base called Fort Hamilton located in Brooklyn. The city of New York, especially during high times of tension, is constantly surveilled by the military. We are also protected by our geological location. Both the east and west coast are protected by two of the largest bodies of water, and our northern and southern borders are protected by allied countries. Due to these factors, it makes it extremely, if not almost impossible, to invade or strike America, with less than a handful of countries being able to strike from a distance, none of which we are currently at war with. So for all the New Yorkers on high alert, rest assured you are safe. Well, unless we go into a world war and then, you know, nobody's safe.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Trump just banned all permanent residents from leaving the U.S. If you are abroad now, you can't come back. This isn't just about illegal immigration anymore. Trump's new executive order affects everyone. Green card holders are stuck in the U.S. Legal residents are locked out. Your family vacation becomes illegal. The New York Times leaked the White House draft. 45 countries are now on Trump's red list, implementing extreme entry restrictions on their citizens. Even if they have valid visas, even if they have lived here for decades. 8.7 million permanent residents, suddenly unable to visit dying parents overseas, can't attend their weddings abroad. Trump claims this is to protect American jobs, but economists say it's economic suicide. Tech companies lose foreign talent. Hospitals lose specialists. Universities lose top researchers. The real question that bothers everyone, is this about security or is it killing the American dream? Permanent residents are not illegal immigrants. They pay taxes, work legally, and raise American children. Now they are prisoners of their adopted country.
I don't know how true that is. I haven't heard much about that.
It's basically Trump stated that certain people can't leave the country. If you leave the country, you can't come back.
Well, no, like it sounds more like if you're what she was saying was like if you're trying to leave the country to a select few countries, 40, what they say, 40 something countries or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, it sounds like you can't go to those countries, and if you're in those countries, you're not allowed to come back. So I don't, like I said, I don't know how true that is. I haven't heard that until now. But that's pretty crazy. You'd think they'd be able to know who is good and who is bad, but I guess, sometimes you have to take certain precautions that not everybody likes.
Right.
Yeah. And Elm Street says the way he said that had me laughing. And that's crazy. Actually, I didn't know he banned them from leaving. They're going to become extremists. And so Gronk says it is true about green card holders.
Gotcha. That's scary though. Wouldn't
That
want to get
is.
stuck.
Me neither.
Well, guys, we've hit the last video. Let's play it.
Okay.
It is very possible that we will know Diddy's fate this week. Basically, prosecutors said they plan to rest their case tomorrow, which is Tuesday, which then gives defense time to call their witnesses. Now, with that being said, the defense witness list isn't very long. For those of y'all wondering if Diddy's going to testify or take the stand, the answer is very unlikely. That being said, though, defense can be done probably by Wednesday or Thursday, letting them rest their case and putting jury into deliberation. And depending on how quickly the jury makes a verdict, we could know something by Thursday or Friday as to what's going to happen to him. Now, obviously, court is happening right now. There's still a lot more happening. Prosecution is giving their last few witnesses, and there's a lot more abuse, a lot more coercion, and a lot of things that are really linking Bad Boy Enterprises, Combs Enterprises, and personal things all together, which is how they're kind of getting that racketeering thing together. Anyways, something we are definitely following, keeping a very close eye on. Of course, make sure to hit that follow button if you don't already. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I will be live doing it.
So that's about P. Diddy.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about that? Do you think he's gonna walk away from this, or do you think bro is completely cooked and he's gonna be in prison for the rest of his life?
I think he's cooked.
I think he should cook, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, like I've heard a lot of different people say that there's a real possibility that Diddy could walk.
Who knows?
Hey, Elm Street said it tried to say it's not true, but then says exemptions to, so I don't know. And then I have a fear they let him out. Oops, I missed one.
OJ
O.J.
Simpson did is
did.
what he said.
What about OJ?
OJ Simpson
That.
did. Got to walk.
Yeah, that's a really big one, and that's what a lot of people like refer to is OJ's case. But also, there's been
Oh
other
no, he
people
said
too.
he meant Bill Cosby.
Yeah, no, Bill
Okay.
Cosby got out also,
Yeah.
and Cosby was not a good guy.
No, he wasn't.
Well, guys, this is the last 15 minutes of the podcast. You just write down any comments you guys want to talk about in the chat. We'll talk to you guys about. And then I also wanted to insert this into here because we were asked the other day about this. I'll have this inserted at the end of every show from now on. But this is basically the donation link for the Robert and Crew Show podcast. So if anybody does want to donate, this is where you can donate to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We also got some more comments. He says because of his health, Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
wild, and then wait, the background, and is sick. W.
Yeah.
So I want to bring this up tomorrow. We're gonna go ahead and do Mortal Kombat.
Oh, you want to do a series or you want to do an episode on Mortal Kombat?
Yep.
Bro, you trying to test my knowledge?
Hey, we're gonna test Julie's knowledge because you and I are Mortal Kombat
because
guys.
y'all know I don't.
And here's the thing, fun fact: Mortal Kombat is not just a video game.
Mortal Kombat. Dun, 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 dun.
Mortal Kombat's been around a long time.
Oh yeah.
Never really played it.
12 games.
Ed Boon is an amazing game creator.
12 video games. Bunch of movies. Bunch of has its own web series. Bunch of shows. Had a couple of animated series.
They're comic books.
And comic books, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mortal Kombat is in just about any part of.
I take that back. Mortal Kombat had 13 video games because Mortal Kombat did one with DC.
Yeah, they were huge in pop culture, bro. Like Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat was huge. They were some of the first, not the first, but they were some of the first arcade fighting machines. They weren't the first, but they were some of the first.
Elm Street said, do any of you know how to get a QR code from a photo on iPhone? And then he said, I'll figure it out.
Oh, sorry. I think you can just type in the name. It's like at the Robert and Crew Show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The QR code thing, I don't know. Like I don't use Apple. My wife does, but she's not awake.
I got it, but
I'm
not signed into Venmo, so I'll get it. Is what Elm Street said.
You're good, brother.
But yeah, so we're doing Mortal Kombat tomorrow night.
Who's your favorite character?
Scorpion all day, bro.
Scorpion.
You should remember this because remember we talked about this. Scorpion's always been my number one favorite.
I've always been in love with freaking the whole beef between Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Right.
Yeah, I love Sub-Zero's character, and I love the whole thing between the two tribes. What was Scorpion's tribe's name? The Yao Guai or
Yagway.
Yeah, and then what was the Lin Kuei was Sub-Zero. Yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely loved Mortal Kombat growing up. It's one of my favorite things to play. Somebody either in my family or close to me at some point had one of the original arcade machines for Mortal Kombat 2.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I bet.
I don't remember who it was, but I remember going over to that house and playing it all the time.
Bro, remember that Sub-Zero action figure I had?
Yeah.
And I got so mad because I wanted Scorpion, but nobody could find Scorpion, so they got me Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Man, we used to stay up for hours playing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Julie, me and Rob would spend hours on end all night playing Mortal Kombat. I'd always pick Scorpion.
There'd be weekends where I'd go over to your house and we wouldn't even sleep.
Right.
We would just play Mortal Kombat for the whole 2 days of the weekend.
Yeah, and I'd play as freaking Scorpion every single time, and he'd switch it up. He's like, "Why you never switch it up?" And I'm like, "Because Scorpion's my favorite character to play."
Yeah. And then we also played a lot of Call of Duty.
Yeah. That and Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Lots of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I used to watch Crew Flight. Grand Theft Auto.
You did?
Yeah, I think wasn't that it? It was you and Derek and a couple other people.
Oh yeah. So you'd watch Derek Speed whenever he would go live on
On
Twitch,
Twitch
and
or YouTube.
and so what me, Derek, Aaron, and Tyler, and sometimes Darrell, we would all team up and play GTA Online, and sometimes Derek's buddy Justin would join too.
Yeah.
Right.
And he can't anymore, probably because of the account issue. He hasn't been on since like 9 to 10 months now. Derek.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be off Twitch.
Well, no, PlayStation.
Oh,
account.
PlayStation. Got you.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like, I pretty much gotten to the point where since I don't really have anybody to play with, I mean, I can play with my bro Jake and Nick, but they're not on whenever I'm on. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and delete GTA because I don't really like playing by myself. If I'm playing GTA online, I'm going to just go to the casino to spin the wheel and get my daily 1,000 coins, or go do couple of races here and there, but that's it.
Right.
Yeah. I enjoyed watching y'all play. That was fun.
I mean, it can be fun, but it gets really frustrating because, like, okay, I'll give you an example. So whenever I was playing with them, right, I had a really bad controller. So I always told them I'm not driving.
Yeah.
I cannot drive because my controller will literally make me go to the left and not stay still. So I was good at shooting. Yeah, it's a stick drift. So I was good at the shooting part, just not the driving part. So I told them, I was like, all right, we're gonna have one of y'all drive. So when me and Darrell got in the car together, this motherfucker, oh my god, he crashed every single time, and Julie saw it.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
I
really,
used to play
Darrell?
a lot of Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, and those helicopter crashes. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do any of the special missions?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you do like the Keiko Perico heist?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was like one of my favorite heists in that whole game.
What I like to do a lot of the biker stuff.
Where you have like your own lab and your own like operations and stuff.
Yeah, your own farm, your own lab, your own mini businesses, and then when I had the money, I ended up becoming a CEO, and I was able to do that. So I bought a couple of warehouses, and then
Right.
I did finally get. Last time I played, I bought myself a penthouse in the casino.
Oh, that's cool. I never
Yeah.
had that much money to be able to spend in Grand Theft Auto.
Well, see, the more missions you do,
No, I know how to get the money. I just didn't have the time to put into it like that.
yeah, and so I got to the point where I got so bored of GTA Online because nobody be able to play, so I switched to Red Dead Online.
Yes, I love Red Dead.
And Red Dead Online, I finally got to the point where it's like, okay, I can actually become a bounty hunter now. So I ended up spending a bunch of the gold that I had and not only get the bounty hunter license, but the prestigious version so that we can go after legendary bounties.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
All right, guys. Well, we've hit the hour and 50-minute mark. So we're going to jump off here tonight and call it a night. But thank you so much for tuning in tonight. If you tuned in and liked the show, please share with your friends, share with your family, share with whoever you think would enjoy us. But like I said, we've got the donations page up now. I can show that one more time for everybody. It's right here. And then we also have our new logo officially is right here. This will be our new logo for this season. And then as people can see, also, we are no longer doing the beach theme background. We have our space theme background. So we are set for this season. Next episode, tomorrow night, will all be about Mortal Kombat and Cruz and I's fascination with Mortal Kombat back in the day. Julie, get ready to be boarded out by a bunch of nerds. But anyways, I hope everybody
Thank you, Treat.
I hope everybody enjoyed the night tonight. I hope everybody had fun. So much love from the Robert and Cruz Show. Peace out.
Peace.
Everybody wants answers, but nobody's asking the right questions. This is gonna blow your mind. And maybe make you laugh too. Welcome to the Robert and Cruz Show, where we dig up conspiracies, chase UFOs, and turn the weirdest news into wild stories. Join Robert, Crew, and Julie every week for secrets, laughs, and the unexplained. Season 6 is streaming now. Follow us if you dare.